Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Welcome to Chris is Talking, and this is my anime review for Boku no Hero Academia, episode 3, but mostly 4, otherwise known as My Hero Academia, episode 3, but mostly 4. And for those of you new to my channel's mostly about anime, manga, reviews, movie reviews, trailers, all that kind of stuff, but predominantly anime, manga. And you may have noticed that I just recently posted up last night before I went to sleep my review for the latest Hunter x Hunter chapter 351. If you haven't seen that, check that out now. It's literally going to be in the Hunter playlist or my anime review playlist. Sorry, my manga review playlist. But back onto Boku no Hero Academia. So I'll start with roughly what happened in episode 3. Episode 3 was mostly about Izuku Midoriya doing his training, and All Might had basically told him that he's going to be his vessel and that he's worthy of his power. So that was pretty cool. So I thought that was really interesting in the manga, because I'm a manga reader, so that's why my excitement's not as extreme as everyone else's. But just to say, this anime will get emotional, especially where it's going to cut off. Around that point there, we're in for a good ride. I'm pretty excited. But yeah, so All Might tells Izuku that he can have his powers, but before he does that, he needs to be a greater vessel. So then Izuku does his training. Izuku's training was mostly cleaning up a beach full of trash and rubbish, which still seems like a madness to clean up, because how old is he meant to be? Like 12, 13 years old? I don't think a normal 12, 13-year-old with no quirk, nonetheless, with no quirk, would be able to clear up that much rubbish. I'm 25, and I don't think I could be carrying every single morning literally a whole bunch of like fridges and cupboards and this and that before going to work or college. No, I don't think I could do that. But Izuku did his best, and it turns, I think it was like a 10-month period, and in that 10-month period Izuku managed to clear it all up faster and beyond than what anybody was expecting. By anybody, I mean All Might. All Might obviously gave him a training regime and told him what to eat, how to sleep, all this kind of stuff, which was his superhero training method to make Izuku be a greater vessel. Izuku did that and went beyond, which they kind of spoke about in the episode about how he needs to train, but then Izuku was telling All Might about how, yes, he needs to train, but because he doesn't have a quirk, he really needs to put in more than what the other people would normally do. So I felt sorry for him around that point, but it does show that Izuku's not going to be like the average shonen protagonist. He's not going to just randomly get the powers and just be strong enough. No, Izuku really does train hard. He's very smart as well. Obviously he has that Hitman Reborn. Oh, what's that guy's name? The main character from Hitman Reborn, he's a lot like him, literally just kind of nerdish and pretty much a pussy. But in every episode, we are shown that he can be pretty badass, and in episode 4, fuck my life, they really do show that in this one. But yeah, so wrapping up episode 3, he does the training, he surpasses it. All Might gives him the hair, he eats the hair, nothing happens, and then they say, this is what's going to give you the powers. So that was pretty much that, and then him going to a school for the first time, and that's where it finished up. Now, in episode 4, which is what I'm mostly going to be talking about, Izuku now knows about what's going to be in his training exam to actually go into the school in the first place. And what they mentioned at the end of episode 3 was that they'll have to do a mock exam, a mock hero test, a mock battle. I'm not really too sure, but it's basically them saving civilians, and it's all like a test, but on a grand scale. Like, it is huge. This literally looks like another city. I have no idea where they're hiding this training test place, but it's big enough to not be hidden, so I don't know what the fuck they were doing there. But it's huge, it's on a grand scale. So they mentioned about how there are several bad guys who have points, like 1, 2, 3, and 4 points. And then there's like a 0 pointer who you don't need to fight if you can avoid it, because it's not worth fighting. But there's a big question mark theory, kind of mystery behind that 0 pointer. And then in this episode, the 0 pointer is explained, and you really get why the 0 pointer was there. The 0 pointer, even if they wanted to, I don't think almost any of them would have been able to take it out. But yeah, when Izuku ends up going into the test, everyone is taking out points left, right, and center. I mean, they're using their quirks like a madman. Izuku even freezes for a moment at the very beginning, and I'm thinking, obviously I'm a manga reader, but for a moment I totally forgot that he's only just got his powers. Like, so what's he gonna do? How is he going to survive this? And then the first monster, well, the first mechanical monster machine thing goes to attack him, and then this guy with lasers shooting out of his crotch, which is weird, but you know what, if everyone's got powers, I guess they got to run out of some powers eventually. He ends up taking out that machine, and he says to Izuku, "Thanks, dude." Runs off, pretty much tells him he's not going to see him again, because everybody there who saw Izuku, well, at the gate or before exam started, they all felt like they were lucky to have him in their exam, because that's one less person they have to worry about, which is pretty unfair, because most of them are a bunch of pussies, and they show this so clearly when that 0-pointer it just appears out of the fuck of nowhere, considering he's some next Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Transformers, giant Japanese crazy shit. So yeah, so basically like that just appears out of nowhere, some fucking Godzilla shit, and everyone's just running away. They just forget about every single thing. But what I thought was pretty unfortunate was that they ended up running away from leaving the girl who could float things, the nice girl, as Izuku calls her, the nice girl. They end up leaving the nice girl with a rock right up on her foot, and she can't get out, and they see her there, and not one person decides to do a heroic thing. But obviously our boy Izuku, he runs in, even though they show how shit scared he was more shit scared than every single one of them. Why? This guy has no quirk in the slightest. He keeps on doing the hero stuff naturally, and this is exactly the reason why we know that Izuku is going to be an amazing hero. He did get himself fucked up, but I love how Studio Bones, because I've read the manga, so I knew what was going to happen, but I wanted to see how it showed it. For the moment he used the power that All Might gave him, when he just ended up just shooting up into the air doing a Saitama fucking flex, like, you see his I don't know, his body just goes all like orange and yellow and like lightningy. I thought that was a really good effect, because I didn't know how the anime was going to show it. Studio Bones, marvelous, you're doing amazing, the pacing is amazing. But yeah, so he ends up shooting up in the air, and obviously if you think about it, to be able to go up that high, you must have some serious leg muscles. And you just see that like his legs are just all frailed. And like he gets up in the air, and then he ends up, his arm does the smash attack onto a giant robot's face, and then his arm just ends up going all black, burnt, and all that kind of bullshit, and there's all just flaring around. There's just flaring about as well, and he's just falling to the ground, and I'm thinking, oh shit, he never really thought this through. He just went to go to save her, and now he's just falling to his death. Obviously, he ends up getting saved. He's not going to die. He's the main character, for crying out loud. But the nice girl, as he calls her, ends up saving him by touching him. So I'm going to say, I think that, well, I know her power is basically to make things float, but this just confirms to anime only viewers as well that her power is affected by touching. So I don't think she can just make anything float. I think she needs to physically touch you, and then that way she can end up controlling you, how high you float and all this kind of stuff, maybe controlling speed, who knows. So that's pretty cool. She ends up throwing up rainbows and sunshines and shit. I don't get what that was about. Maybe it was a comedic thing. I don't remember that in the manga. Maybe it was in the manga, but obviously manga's black and white, so I wouldn't have seen it all fucking rainbows and sparkles. But that was weird. She's very thankful with that. He saved her. Boom! That was pretty much the end of the exam. Izuku had 0 points. He literally, the only thing he ended up fighting was the 0 pointer, so he got no points for that. Obviously, he's feeling shitty as fuck. He's going home. His mum was all like, I believe in you. You did well. Well, regardless, you did well. I'm actually just proud that you even applied for the school. Blah, blah, blah. Being the fucking unsupportive mother that she is. And then he's all like, it's cool. Because he wasn't really expecting to do much. I don't know. I don't think he planned that far ahead to know that like what he was going to do, and plus he didn't even practice or use his quirk that he got from All Might. So I guess it was all pretty much rushed. That's what he gets for doing 10 months training, and then with the second he gets his powers, he goes straight to the exam. So yeah, so Izuku's feeling all shit and upset and like all downhearted, and his mum's all like, don't know what the hell she's doing. She's trying to support him, I guess. After a few days of grief and no actual contact with All Might, he's all feeling depressed, believing that he hasn't actually got anywhere. And then his mother then just goes on to proper expressive one and just shows him the letter from UA that he got. So he goes to his bedroom, he's all just tearing it apart, not giving a fuck. He's like, fuck it, you know what, I'm probably getting it. Anyway, Hologram comes up. All Might, all shirt, suit, tie, all that kind of bullshit. He's all like, well done, Izuku, you did well. Obviously, you got 0 points. And then Izuku's like, no, crying as usual. But then he tells him, but you did get loads of hero points. And then this is where obviously the raw points were from, because this is a hero school, so obviously it's good that they can fight and they have good combat ability, but none of them actually showed any hero traits. So obviously this is Izuku talking about, the same person who saved Deku from that large monster thing that nobody wanted to fight either. He actually has the hero traits. This is the reason why All Might gave him the power, and All Might ends up telling him, you actually passed through the hero points, and I think his hero points were like 60 or something. You see a whole bunch of 10s, 8s, 9s, 10s, and like compared to everyone else who they got good points, but their points are all from 1s, 2s, and 3s from destroying the monsters, which definitely wouldn't be as much as what Izuku would have got from a whole bunch of 10s and 8s and 9s. So I was really happy. I did get kind of like just a little bit teary-eyed, but I was like, yeah, you're doing it. Another great episode of Boku no Hero Academia by Studio Bones. I'm excited to see what happens in next week's episode. If you guys are excited as well, tell me in the description below what you think is going to happen, whether you think it's going to make some friends, whether you think that nice girl, the floaty powers, is a love interest. Obviously, I do know, but I like to read comments and stuff just to see what you guys have to say, especially you anime only watchers, so that's pretty cool. If you liked what you saw and you'd like to see more from me, please do like and subscribe and share my videos. And that is it pretty much. Chris is talking, out.